Somebody said, Gibson, you're obsessed with money. I'm poor, Eric. Eric, I'm poor. Poor is a state of mind. Poverty is reality. See, for the moment, my wallet is flat. Yeah. See, some guys, not Eric, but some guys have never eaten ramen noodles for dinner. Some guys have never eaten rice and beans for dinner. Some guys have never eaten a peanut butter and jelly sandwich for dessert. Listen. I'd rather die than go back to poverty. Yeah. Listen. When you're poor, you eat rice and beans for dinner. I don't ever in my life want to eat rice and beans ever again. I would literally die before I go back to that. And flip a rice and beans. Rice and beans for poor people, and I no longer want to be poor. See, when you start expanding your mind, man, let's start buying steaks. Bro, we really can't afford steaks. Once you get a taste for steaks, you will do anything in your power to keep being able to buy steaks, which means you will force yourself to make more money. Look, I'm gonna tell y'all this true story, but I'm gonna change a few things up, but I'm gonna keep the dollar amount the same, the way this guy won't know I'm talking about him, right? Was talking to this guy recently, right? He said, Gibson, I'm presented with an opportunity. It's 2 jobs in my area. One job pay more than everybody to regular workers, and the other job pay a little less. But for his status, both of those jobs will pretty much pay the same. He said, Gibson, I just come from overseas doing consulting work, and I'm back in the States. And these 2 jobs are willing to pay me $1,000 a day for consulting 10 months out of the year. I'm like, golly. I said, well, why don't you go to this one? This one always pay more. He said, Gibson, when you're in my field, you can pretty much negotiate your salary. He said, outside of the money, I want to see what else they have to offer. Like, what more could you want? If you got guaranteed $1,000 a day for 10 months out the year, what more you want? As he was telling me this, I started digging into his background a little bit. He said, Gibson, I don't come from much. He said, but I refuse to die with nothing. See, it's not being obsessed with money, Eric. It's the point. Some people have grew up with nothing, and they don't want to die with nothing. Meaning they want to enjoy some parts of their life. You see, Eric, I say for the first 5 years of my marriage, Eric, when me and my wife's anniversary, we weren't able to go anywhere because we didn't have any money. Now, Eric, I'm able to go places, and I refuse to be poor again. And then, see, some people think, and now this is not directed towards Eric, some people think that Christians shouldn't be so consumed with making money, right? Because they would take the Bible scripture, godliness with contentment is great gain, and misconstrue on what that really means. See, you will have like, look, I'm gonna give you an example. If you decide to go to somebody's church every week, you have to understand it costs money to purchase the land. It costs money to build the building. It costs money to keep the lights on. It costs money to have running water so you can go to the bathroom. It costs money for something to sit on. And also, the Bible that you read out of isn't free. That costs money as well. Now, whoever your pastor is, do you want him to get some kind of financial gain for giving his life to the ministry? 90% of people don't. 90% of people want their pastor poor. They don't want him to have that. See, and it's sad that, see, some pastors doesn't have time for a vacation because they gave their whole life to their work, right? As I ride down the street, I'm looking at a guy with his, I don't know if I can flip the camera and show y'all. I'm looking at a guy. Let me see if I can. Let me see if I can zoom in. Let me see if I can zoom in to show y'all. I can't zoom in to show y'all. But as I make this video, it's a guy walking down the street. It's him, his wife, and looks like a little girl. And he's holding his wife's hand. You see, it looked like he have a uniform on. He's fixing to walk to work. Now, I don't want to walk on side of the road with my family, Eric. So I'm gonna get up and go to work to purchase us a vehicle to live in a nice home outside of the ghetto, Eric. So if that means I have to grind 6 days a week, then that's what I'm gonna do. And then you also will have some guys that tell you you're working a little bit too much, man. You might want to pull back a little bit. Well, if I pull back, I will have to go back to eating rice and beans. And I refuse to eat rice and beans ever again. I listen here, bro. Listen. It's a difference waking up not having no money in your wallet and your bills due. And it's a difference waking up not having no money in your wallet and all your bills paid, fridge stocked, everybody's healthy, and decent vehicles in the driveway. Somebody has to work to get to that position. You don't just wake up and you're there. The problem is, once a lot of people has made it, they forget what it was like in the trenches. They forget the bottom. See, I still have nightmares of the bottom because I'm not too far from the bottom. So that's why I'm gonna continue to keep doing what I'm doing. And you may say I'm consumed with money, but I understand in the world we live in, you need money to survive. You need money to buy the mower. You need money to purchase your mower. You need money to go on vacation. You need money if you get sick to buy medicine. You need money to go see the doctor. You need money to ride up and down the highway in a climate controlled vehicle. You also need money to get on the internet and comment, and also you need money to get on the internet and post. And again, I'm just using Mr. Eric's comment for content, okay? Some people don't understand why I work the way I work. Because look, I'm gonna be honest with you. If I had $50,000 cash in my account, I wouldn't be working like this. That's why I'm working, is because I don't have a lot of money saved. Okay? And I understand one wrong move will change everything. It's just, listen, I'm gonna tell you what just happened with somebody that I know of. I don't personally know. They got into a car accident and they broke the bones in their face. Right now, the argument with the insurance companies is who's paying for this, right? It's a money grab. So they will have the surgery, but that particular person have to come out of pocket with $4,000 before the surgery starts. You're like, man, come on, Brazy. I mean, they can live without the surgery, but it's best to go ahead and have the surgery. So, Miss Such and Such, the insurance is going to pay X amount of dollars. You're on the hook for the rest, which is $4,000. But we need some kind of deposit before we start, because your insurance company like to play the back and forth game for final payment. So I'm good at what I do, Miss Such and Such. So you have to give me $4,000 to begin this surgery. Well, they had the $4,000. Listen, when my mother found out she had cancer, she had to get surgery as well. They told her the same thing. Insurance are gonna pay 90%. You're on the hook for the other 10, but we need a 10% down payment. So she had to pay $6,000 in order for them to do the surgery, and the surgery was a success. Imagine if she had $6,000. Yeah, because when you're dealing with cancer, it's time sensitive, because the earlier we can get in here and clean this out, the higher rate of chance you have for surviving. Some people come from the bottom and they're doing anything and whatever it takes to get as far away from the bottom as possible. I'm headed to work right now on a Sunday, right? Man, bro, why don't you take Sunday off? Listen, I went to church this morning, Sunday morning. I won't make it to church tonight because I'm going to work. Man, bro, why are you doing that? Well, see, because they gave us 4 days off from work with no pay. And I worked Friday and I worked Saturday. And I'm going to work also today, Sunday. That way next week I will have a decent check to buy groceries, put gas in the vehicles, and keep going on. Well, man, if you gotta do that just to keep food on the table, you was already fixing to lose anyway. See, I know I was fixing to lose anyway. That's why I'm working the way that I'm working, because that way I can keep the little bit I have saved and keep pressing on towards the mark I'm trying to reach. Some people just lay down and accept poverty, and some people die fighting and trying, and some people actually make it to the mountaintop. Yeah, hey, that's why some guys work the way they work. They're tired of being poor, Eric. They're tired of being poor. Yeah. Man, screw that. I'm tired of being poor. Life goes on. Life goes on. Man, life goes on. God, why don't I have nothing? Well, Gibson, you don't want to get out there and work for nothing. You don't want to get out there and work for nothing, Gibson. Or you going to die with nothing, Gibson. You don't want nothing, Gibson. Yeah. And for the record, I haven't worked a Sunday in about 7 weeks. So I figured I'd go ahead and go in this Sunday. And I'm not going to work next Sunday. Because next week, I will have about 60 hours and I won't have to work Sunday. Sound like to me you live in check to check, Gibson. Well, 90% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. Can you afford to skip out on a paycheck? Let's say you get paid $1,700 a week. Can you afford to just not get paid 1 week? Yeah, you can survive it, but why survive it when you can do something about it? If you get paid $10,000 a month every month, can you afford not to get that $10,000 1 month? Yeah, you probably can survive it, but why afford it when you don't have to? So the question is Gibson consumed with money? No, I'm not. Gibson is consumed with not ever being poor again. I don't want to eat rice and beans no more. I don't want to eat ramen noodles no more. I just don't want to do it. You get so sick and tired of having nothing. You get tired of that, man, not having nothing. You know how many years I went not being able to do for my wife like I wanted to? Hey, look, I remember this. I remember working a job, right? And I had a butthole for a supervisor. Well, this is around the end of the year. And on this job I was working, I was already living paycheck to paycheck. Christmas was coming up and I ain't had no money to do nothing for Christmas. And this job was about to give us 2 weeks off with no pay. And it's like the second week in November. Maybe like a week and a half before Thanksgiving. And I know it's wait, look, I know what's waiting for me at the end of November. I know what's waiting for me at the end of December. And I know I'm going to have to work like a madman when January hit. Supervisor told me, he said, Gibson, you need to go get you some more work boots. He said it in a safety meeting in front of everybody. And this is what I said to him. I said, John, I can't afford a new pair of work boots right now. This is what he said. Go to the safety store, they can take it out your check, and they can split it into 2 payments. I said, John, I'm already living paycheck to paycheck, and I can't afford another dime coming out of my paycheck. And you want me to go buy the cheapest pair of boots was like $100. So it was gonna be $50 this week and $50 next week. I said I can't afford $50 for the next 2 weeks coming out my check because we are working 40 hours, John. I can't afford it. And he gonna blurt out in front of everybody, golly, you can't even afford a pair of boots? No, I can't afford a pair of boots because I made a few bad decisions and I'm suffering for my consequences, but I would never be back in this predicament again if I can get out of it, John. He said, well, come next week. Either you're going to have a new pair of boots to work with, I'm going to send you home. Guess what I did? I went and bought a bunch of shoe glue and glued the boots. Then came to work. And he laughed about it. It was funny. It was funny because Gibson was poor. Hey, look. Listen. See, some people have tasted that kind of poverty and they don't ever want to live. I ain't living like that no more. Hell no. Man, I'm gonna go to work, man. I'm gonna go to work. Wife told me today, hey, I need some more church dress. I said, look, next week, she like to order stuff offline. I said, look, put 5 dresses in a cart and I'll order them. That takes money, Eric. It takes money to buy 5 new church dresses, Eric. My children are growing every day, Eric. My second oldest need more shoes, Eric. And so guess what Gibson gonna do? Take his behind to work? Yeah. Look, if you got $20,000 saved, there's no sense in let me stay home than just keep pulling out of the savings account. Well, man, I ain't gonna work this week since we had a short week. And I know I'm about to spend $300 on groceries. And my woman just said she needs some more church dresses. So let me go grab about $600 out the savings, put groceries in the house, get my wife some more dresses and some shoes to match, and then we just gonna go from there. But wait, now I gotta put the first week in February, I normally spend $1,000 on mower blades, oil, string, things I need for the business. Well, we'll blow that $600, then we'll pull an additional $1,000 out the account to get everything I need, and then we'll just figure it out. Instead of Gibson, man, look, let me just keep working every day to offset some of these expenses. Man, it sound like to me, man, you consume with money. Man, bro, you need money to live. Let me go so I can enjoy my last 5 minutes of driving before I clock in on my job.